Official. Today we're moving on from Casper, cadiaN, from the active roster to the bench for the purposes of exploring transfer. Our time together did not work out as we had hoped, and we know for a bright future ahead of him. We'll now be working closely with Casper as we explore all options moving forward. I don't know, man. I don't want to get into blame games because it's really hard to know sometimes what happens internally. It's easy for me to just farm and be like, I still believe if you got cadiaN should have been given, like, if you sign an IGL, they should be the IGL. It's not a committee. That being said, if everybody just, I guess, did disagree with the things he wanted to do and inside the game, like, and it was the majority of the team just wasn't vibing with it, it's hard because, like, especially like somebody like Twist, for example, is going to have so much success. Like, dude has 2 Grand Slams, major, right? Like, he's won a lot. And I'm not saying it was Twist. It could have been like Yakinder as well, but I think like it's probably a collection of all. It's what we already knew, right? There's too many cooks in the kitchen, but I still think it's really, really stupid to sign somebody as an IGL to not let them IGL the way they want to, and it's very apparent that they were not doing that. Like, then don't sign them. Like if you want to, hey, come IGL for us, but not your way. You know, can you just be somebody else? Actually, I know we're signing you, but can you actually call like somebody else or play the game or view the game in a way that we want? It's like, then don't sign them. That to me is the issue with this whole thing. Is I feel like you should be giving the IGL the reins no matter what. And if you don't want to do that, then you better consult with the other players and which IGL they want. So that way going forward, everybody's on the same page. Yeah. I feel bad for cadiaN from the sense that, like, I just think that that's kind of a really shitty hand to be dealt. Like, whether, and let's just say like people weren't nice to each other. Okay. Let's just say things were truly getting heated. It still shouldn't matter because from the start, it should have been cadiaN's team. Matt Wu, thanks for the 103-month primer. From the start, this should have been cadiaN's team, start to finish. I don't care who's on the team if he's going to be your IGL. And whoever they get as IGL next, it should be their fucking team. Or you're just going to run into the same problem again. There needs to be some clear fucking boundaries for the squad, you know? And I think they'll just have the same problem again. I think also the unfortunate reality, maybe cadiaN goes back to heroic, but I kind of doubt it because, yeah, I kind of doubt that. I don't know where cadiaN goes right now. I have no idea. I feel like his stock only went down going to liquid. I think, you know, finding the right teams is tough, dude. Like, there's a lot of good players that, you know, you might miss opportunities just because of the timing of when you get dropped and like what happened on your most recent team. It can be brutal, dude. So I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. At the end of the day, IGL should get to IGL their teams that they want to, especially if you sign them that way. So, yeah, I know I'm kind of rehashing, but this is the official news, right? Like, so I know I'm like repeating myself with the letting the IGL. I think he was done dirty in that sense. I don't think that team ever gave him a chance. We will literally never know, right? Like how that team could have been because they were never really a team. And that's actually crazy is I still want to show this just for effect here. This team did this and then is in this much turmoil. Let me just show you. Number 48 to number 11. I think they peaked at like 10, I think. No, it was peaked at 11. So you almost went, I mean, I know for these players, they want to be higher ranked than that. But let me just say again, you went from 48th to 11th and you missed the major. And I'm saying that as a knock against them, but also like you made 11th without making the major at the same time. That's pretty impressive. But wait and see, I guess. I mean, there's going to be a lot of roster moves, dude. There's going to be a lot of shit. We just got to wait and see where the dust settles, I guess. All right, so we got skulls. All right, so the Brazilian version of Dust2.com reported that Skulls is close to signing for, is it Kai? I think it's Kai. That's how you say his name. Yeah, they're agreeing on the buyout probably. Brazilian, blah, blah, blah. When he was bought out of his contract for paying was a reported $600,000. Friend DA chat, he was not. Once again, I will just explain this to you guys again. Okay, chat. This is probably the buyout that was listed on his contract. That is not, similar to, sorry, I got to skip that, brother. Thank you, Bez. Similar to when Kassad bought out the players that he did, and they were asking for 1.2 million, and then he ended up paying like $50,000 per player. This is just like what was the number on his contract. Okay. I need you guys really to understand that. I think Liquid, I imagine, honestly, is probably just going to try to get their money back on the buyout that they put forward. So we don't know what that is. And I think it'd be a good move for Furia. He posted one point, let's see, cannot be seen in a positive light. Skulls didn't play great on Liquid, but he also was in his first international roster. Imagine joining an international roster chat where there's probably 3 players making different calls mid-round. Okay, like that would be awful as is. Look at Mythic. We do that all the time. It's awful as is when you all speak the same language. Now implement the fact that you're probably hearing 3 different cooks in the kitchen come up with ideas and make calls, and you are in your first international roster trying to make an impact. You don't know what the fuck's happening. You don't know what your role, like it. I'm going to defend Skulls and say, like, I just think that the situation that he walked into, I think he's a much better player than what he showed on Liquid. I really do. I think that team environment was so dysfunctional that, especially him, he's supposed to be isolated, right? Like, he's very much like, you know, kind of do what you want, Skulls. Do your thing, bro. Problem is it's really hard to do what you want and make plays off of, because so much of playing in it, when you are solo in like CS, especially on like the T sides where I feel like a lot of people were critical of them, you are trying to capitalize on timings and events that are happening across the map from you, where communication is so important, because you have to be able to visualize and understand what is happening on another side of the map that isn't close to you. You can't see, hear, or know what's going on. And you probably have 3 yappers not being able to come up with a final decision. I think Skulls is, if Furia gets him, I think that's a super smart move from Furia. I feel like he got kind of done dirty in this Liquid roster because of how dysfunctional they are. I hope he, you know, pops, because Skulls was actually sick before he went to Liquid. It would be really cool to see him find his groove again with Furia, and Furia needs a player like him desperately. Gonna be interesting to see, because apparently Yuri and Caserado's contracts, if they haven't re-signed at some point or done an extension, they're at the end of their contracts right now too. So to wrap it up, I think this is a good move. Good move for Furia. I think I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he was some god or something in Liquid, and I just think he has a lot more to offer than what he was able to show on Liquid. I'm sure some of it on him, but more so I think the more we learn about that Liquid situation, it just isn't good.